Hey friend, it's Min. Today let's chat about this plant here, which is called a Tradescantia Stillamontana. These care tips actually apply to all Tradescantia across the board, not just this one here. Tradescantia in general are super easy to take care of, super easy to propagate, makes a wonderful trailing plant and a plant that is very good for beginners as well. This plant here, the Tradescantia Stillamontana, has these greeny fuzzy leaves, super cute. The underside can get a little bit burgundy if it receives enough sunlight. This one's actually blooming, so it has these cute pinky purple flowers, which I find absolutely adorable. So let's start. So with lighting, this one here that I have sits on an east facing window on my plant shelf. It receives morning sunlight, so direct morning sunlight, which is not harsh, and all day long indirect sunlight. I have another one that's sitting on a north facing window and that receives indirect sunlight all day long. I do find that this plant here can grow in low light, but it's not going to actually thrive. So what I mean by that the plant tends to end up being very leggy, not like bushy like this one here. Also, I find that the leaves tend to be a lot smaller and the stems to be thinner as well. So even though it can still survive in low light, it's not the best situation for this plant. It likes more medium to bright indirect sunlight, and it can handle direct morning sunlight as well. When it comes to watering, this plant I treat it like a succulent, so I only water it when the soil is completely dry, and I thoroughly water it, making sure the water comes out of the drainage hole. And I don't want this plant sitting in soggy soil because this plant is quite prone to root rot. And once the root rot happens, it's very hard to actually save this plant, I find. So this plant also is planted in a soil mixture that, and also with the watering, I just use normal tap water. There's nothing special in the water that I use, just normal tap water, not distilled or filtered or rainwater. It doesn't require that. This plant also sits in a terracotta pot, and once again with the terracotta pot, I use that pot because it means that the water in the soil can evaporate a lot more quickly compared to a plastic pot or compared to a glazed ceramic pot. When it comes to the soil mixture I use consists of 50% premium potting mix, 50% cacti soil. I pop some horticultural charcoal in it just to help to kill bacteria in the soil. And I find that soil mixture works well for me because it's well draining, but it still holds a little bit of moisture in the soil so the plant can have a drink of water. When it comes to fertilizing, this plant grows very quickly, so I'm actually fertilizing it a lot. I tend to fertilize once a month with a half concentrated liquid fertilizer called Weed the Wild. If you don't have that liquid fertilizer, a well-balanced fertilizer will do. Just I would recommend to try and reduce the concentration by half because never want to over-fertilize a plant and burn its roots. When it comes to things like humidity, honestly, this plant, not fussy at all. It does not require humidifier. This plant grows all over my home. So I have areas in my home with a humidity between 40 to all the way to 70%. And either way, this plant doesn't really care. It thrives in all different humidities around my home. And when it comes to things like temperature, this plant here can tolerate low temperatures as well as high temperatures. My household in winter can come down to about 10 degrees, and in summer it can go all the way up to about 35 degrees, and that's between 50 Fahrenheit to 95 Fahrenheit. So this plant can actually tolerate a wide range of temperatures, and I think that's why this plant here is just a really easy plant to grow. When it comes to things like pests, haven't had any issues, never seen any aphids, never seen any mealybugs or thrips or scales or fungus gnats on this plant at all. And when it comes to things like fungus or bacteria, I haven't had an issue with any of my Tradescantia, even this one, the Stillamontana, and I find that maybe putting that horticultural charcoal helps, but haven't had an issue, and that's once again probably why the plant is super hardy. The only thing I also forgot to mention is when watering this plant, I try to avoid watering the leaves, and that's because the leaves are fuzzy, and when there's water on the leaves, it can attract a lot of dust in the home. The other part is when I found that when I did actually end up with some water on the leaves end up with these brown spots, so it might have been attacked by fungus or bacteria. So that's just some tips to try and avoid disease on a Tradescantia Stillamontana. It's better just to water at the very bottom of the plant, and even bottom watering this plant works well. So that's all the care tips I have for this plant here. Absolutely gorgeous Tradescantia Stillamontana. If you have any care tips of your own, I'd love to read it out in the comments section down below. If you have any questions for me, pop it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did like the content, please hit the likes button, subscribe to the channel, help this crazy plant lady out so I can create more videos for your viewing. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Hey, if you like the content that you saw today, you might want to watch these other videos as well. I'll put a link above and also down below as well. See ya. Bye.